Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to this NXT review and opinions video. So we've got the match scores. So Lash against Zaria, good 96. Hank and Tank against No Quarter Catch Crew, good 94. Roxanne against Kelani, great 59. And then our main event, Ricky Starks against Shawn Spears. This was great 89. So a real big main event score there. This was a much better show than what I've seen for I think a few weeks now. Certainly I'd say the best show since the Madison Square Garden show. Really enjoyed it. I think that it's probably about a 7.25, something like that. I really like how the matches mattered. Obviously we started with the belt being relinquished. We then had a couple of women's matches to figure out who was going to be in the ladder match at Stand and Deliver, trying to crown that new women's North American champion. Then, of course, we had a title change with Ricky Saints. Really enjoyed the Dark State interference. It's kind of ruled Trick Williams out, but it's brought Ava more into the picture. Are they working for Ava? We keep thinking about what could be in the future for her. Because there had been a report not long ago that WWE are going to look to use her in a bigger way. And I wonder if she is going to be their sort of leader, right? And if that's going to be a way that we're going to use her bigger. I don't know quite how that uses her bigger, unless she'll go to the main roster with them. But considering this group is full of young, emerging talent, I don't think they're going to the main roster anytime soon. So, I don't know. That's really interesting. I'll be interested to see what people have got to say about that. And yeah, Dark State, the breakdown by Tony and the family was really good. Yeah, lots of good stuff. I think there was quite a few talking points here. Match quality was good. I think the first match, the Lash Zaria match, had a few clunky moments. I probably wasn't as high on that as you lot with good 96. I'd probably be a bit lower. But, oh God, I really enjoyed Ricky and the final sequence towards him winning the title. That, for me, is one of the NXT moments, TV moments of the year. I really loved it. It had such a great energy, such a great momentum to that final sequence. And, he's on the outside, he's getting in, he's ducking underneath, against the ropes, hitting a spear. So good. And then, of course, Ethan Page attacking after. So it's very clear where we're going with that feud. So, yeah, I'd say 7.25, somewhat along those lines. So, John Elite said Stephanie should have dropped the North American title instead of vacating it. I would love to see Jordan and Stephanie at Stand and Deliver. Pretty deadly on NXT, yes boy. Interesting that Ricky won the North American title tonight. Ethan, Ricky, Stand and Deliver, yeah. Ethan, Ricky, Stand and Deliver. Pretty deadly on NXT was really fun. And I don't know, the Stephanie one, I mean, we did a poll about how do you feel about Stephanie dropping the title. 74% said they were fine with it. 26% didn't like it. So it was kind of 3/4 were okay with that. But I kind of get both sides because I think on the one side, you've got people saying she should have, dropped it to someone. But then on the other side, you got people saying, well, she can't work 2 matches all the time. So I sort of get both sides on that. Howdy said, Daze, is Roxanne main roster ready? She is, yes. And I think she's in a weird place where obviously she didn't win and qualify for that ladder match. And that might be because they've got plans for her on the main roster. She wasn't part of that European tour. But could we see her interrupting on Monday when it's Bayley versus Lyra? Because it did feel not long ago that it was going to be Bayley versus Roxanne. So that could still be the plan. We'll find out more Monday. Homer says, crown a new champion, 6-woman ladder match. That'll be good. And Ricky winning North American Championship was a big moment, yes. Barry says, Val Kilmer has passed away. I haven't heard that news. I'll have to have a look at that. Brendan said, Luchador accused of attacking Stephanie released from jail. Brendan, thank you. Jason said, fantastic episode. I'm so happy that Ricky won. Wrestling fans since day one says 10 out of 10. This show was fire. Daze, when you talk to Triple T, can you tell him to whoop that trick for the Wrestling Daze community? Good night. See you Friday. See you Friday, buds. Carl said it was solid. They have no clue what they're doing with Rox and the Meta Girls. They're either missing or losing. Rox versus Kelani was fire. The D'Angelo family segment with Dark State was great. I agree. No idea why they have Jada in the NXT title picture, but she'd be perfect for the North American title. And that was a pointless Spears title run. So there we go. Remembering Stephanie Two Belts. So, yeah, as I said, there was people a bit split on whether that was the right thing to do or not, but I don't mind it. I'm okay with it. I think if she's just wrestled 2 matches and won last week, she knows how hard that was. So she could be looking at this situation going, there's just no way I can do this regular, you know? I've got to forfeit one of these belts, and it ain't going to be the Women's NXT Championship, so I'm okay with it. Nishi said, NXT was awesome as usual, and the main event is serious match of the year contender. I'm so happy that my favourite wrestler from the other place won gold in a thriller of a match, and it really was. Congratulations, Ricky. Road to Stand and Deliver is now on fire. Sub Hodeep said NXT was good, and I watched it on Netflix for the first time. The stream was excellent. Sub Hodeep, shout out to you, my friend. Thank you for the kind words. Wrestling God, so I'm going to score it NXT 8.5 in honor of Jordan Grace tossing that security guard out the ring. It was a really fun moment, that, wasn't it? Really good. That guy flew. Muggsy says, let's get to the bad. Stephanie vacating the title. Hank and Tank versus Tavian and Miles. But now let's get to the good. 6-woman ladder match at Stand and Deliver. Triple threat with Oba, Trick, and Javon Evans. Yeah, that match made for next week. LFG, Ricky. Qualifying matches were solid, and I'm so hyped to really get started with Dark State. So overall, 775, says Muggsy. Casper said, I say it's very good. Still the best show all week. Dark State were great. Stephanie did earn both belts, but I see how it's a lot to defend. Hank and Tank match was better than I expected. There was a really good moment where Tank was in, actually. I really enjoyed that moment. Tank was in, and oh man, he was all over the place. Match as a whole was probably the weakest match that we saw. But I don't know, Tank's got something about him. But Saints win, not sure about it, said Casper. Still a great match, though. Ethan Page stealing his smile and shine, so 7.4. Brendan, shout out to you, but Callum said it was good. Having a blast with NXT this year. It's been so enjoyable. Good for Ricky. I'm starting to get used to Ricky Saints now. Stephanie relinquishing the North American Championship, in my opinion, is the right call. So I'm going to give it 7.7. Nails and NY said 10 out of 10 because we saw Ego. Thank you and good night. Nails and NY, thank you, my friend. Chris says, hello, Daze. Hello, Chris. NXT is still the best show of 2025, so 725. I have to be honest, I didn't have Ricky winning the title, me neither, on my bingo card. I did think Ego was going to interfere, and I thought he would cost Ricky. Same boat from winning the title. I'm starting to think Dark State has no leader. Does Ava seem too obvious? Well, I honestly don't know if they've got a leader. I mean, they've never really teased a leader. They've never said anything like, he's told us to do this, or we're going to make him proud or her proud, or they're just kind of doing what they do. I sort of feel like a lot of people thought that there was going to be the swerve about Trick Williams. And so I think that was fueling the leader thing quite a bit. And so they then lay out Trick Williams, but now everyone seems to turn their attention to Ava, right? And then if it's not Ava, what are people going to turn their attention to someone else? So I suppose the thing is that there could be a leader. There could be someone that's in control or in charge, telling them what to do. And there could be a big shock reveal, and it could be Ava. But equally, we have to remember, there may not be anyone at all. Like, this group might just be this group. And I don't know. I don't know at what point are people starting to try and find something that's not even there. So I'm not saying that there isn't a leader. I'm just saying I'm very open to the idea that there isn't a leader and that Dark State are just Dark State. But I do think the Ava thing's interesting because I have heard that they're trying to find something else, something bigger for her to do. And so I am now looking at this Dark State thing going, is it that? Is this the bigger thing? Is this, is she going to be a part of this? And she's going to move away from being GM. And listen, if she moves away from being GM, that frees up a GM vacancy. And we all know that Paige is free. I would not hate Ava joining up with Dark State, going with them to the main roster, and then Paige becoming GM. So I get it. I get why people are like mulling it over and throwing it around. But I would just say don't get too far down the rabbit hole of trying to figure out who the leader is. Because we're not 100% there even is one. It could be that Shaquan Sugars. He's the one that's always kind of leading the promos. He was the one they spoke about last, the family, when they were sat around the table. They even said about him, this guy, when he talks, people listen, people follow. This guy is a charmer. It felt to me like they were making him out to be the leader. But a little bit like the Shields. CM Punk brought the Shield in at Survivor Series. So CM Punk wasn't in the group, but he was the one that was kind of telling them what to do at first. Ava could be in that role. But why? Why would she be in that role? That would be the question. What would be the reason for that? So, I don't know. Very interesting. We'll have to see. Taker1990 said NXT was 9 out of 10. I think Stephanie did the right thing. In my opinion, relinquishing a title looks better than losing it. Great for Ricky Saints for him becoming NXT's North American champion. Vic said, I'm going to go 8. It was a great show. I'm glad that we're getting Dark State in a match. I want them against the family at Stand and Deliver. And if Stacks is going to turn, then maybe that's where it happens. And swipe right for life, yes. Mosey the Wrestling God said, Days, I haven't been active in chats as much. I'm just a bit busy. I thought NXT was a great show. Ricky winning was awesome. Stephanie relinquishing the title was kind of expected at some point. So I'll give it a 7. And Gio DeFio says, NXT always cooked. In fact, they cooked so much that I spent more money during my Vegas trip. So now I've got WWE World, WrestleMania, and NXT. Wow. My wallet is cooked. Well, there we go. Amazing. It seems like people were really into this show. I don't really have a poll to show you for this because it went up a little bit too late. So all I can tell you is that people were really into it. I think it's going to get a really great score. I think it will be in the great range. And yeah, on we go. I think we've only got 2 more episodes and then we're at Stand and Deliver. So it really is starting to get close now. So thanks a lot for joining us and sharing your thoughts. Appreciate it as always. And I will see you again next time. Bye for now.